Hi everyone, it's Adarsh here. I am pursuing MS in data science and my thesis topic is Google Analytics customer revenue prediction. Let's go through agenda for next 15 minutes. Um, we'll start with introduction followed by business problem and later understanding the data set. Then literature review will discuss about literature review. We'll try to do a data interpretation methodology and later result conclusion and future research. Okay, let's get started with introduction. So Google has published merchandise customer data set, which will have the website activities as well as transaction gathered by customer. Having this data, right, we will be building a predictive model utilizing this data set to anticipate the total revenue per customer so that this is helpful to the marketing team to plan their budget. Along with predicting the revenue, we'll also try to understand what are the factors influencing on total revenue projection. Let's try to understand the business problem. So marketing team needs to invest their budget appropriately in promotional strategies to attract potential customers. Um, when we went through the literature, right, we got to know that 80% of the revenue generally will come from 20% of the customers. So what it means? So basically, it means that um, only the small set of customer generally contribute majority of the revenue in any organization. That's the insights we'll get to know. Um, so predicting who will convert or predicting who will become a customer when the visitor comes to website and how many revenue they will generate, right? That is a difficult part, or it is something a business always behind these things, right? These are the different business problems currently we have. Let's try to understand the data. So we have 2.1 million total observation. In that, we have total 12 features, and few features are in JSON. And we'll in the upcoming slide we'll try to understand within the JSON what are the JSON columns we have, and yeah, let's go through each of the features. Okay, the first feature is a channel grouping. So channel grouping is to a broad categorization how the visitor has came to our website. Okay, so they can come from a referral, they can come from directly or through any paid social or any a search, paid search or organic search. These are the different ways the visitor can come. Other features are at what time they came, what is the unique ID of the visitor, what is the visitor ID or a visitor number, followed by which browser they came, what OS they are used, whether they came from mobile or not, a kind of that, and little bit details of geo, like region, continent, which city, and also visitor hits, how many times he has visited website, and also how many pages happened, how many revenue generated, and what medium they came. All these are different data available in the data set. Okay, with this data set, right, we have done a pre-processing. First, we have passed the JSON columns. In that, we have device, geo network, total, and traffic sources. These are the different data we have, and it has been converted to several columns, and old JSON has been removed. And after, apart from that, right, we have imputed all the unknown values into NA, and we have dropped the newly parsed JSON columns, which has only one value. So basically, it has a high cardinality. So those things are dropped. Okay. Apart from that, we have converted JSON columns, hits, page views, visits, and transaction revenue from character to numeric. And when we try to do the pre-processing, we understood that there are 8 columns where 95% of data is missing, and those columns has been removed, and wherever there is a low number of values are missing, right? Those has been addressed through imputation. We have used label encoding here. Okay. Predicting the revenue for any business, right? That is a critical problem in a variety of industries. Okay, so we try to understand from different area of application, what are the technique used and how Google Analytics is helpful. Okay, let's try to understand this bar chart. So looking into this bar chart, right, we can understand that year on year, right, there is an increase of number of users who uses the internet. Okay, so it is good to any business to be have an online presence and try to understand what actually customer does in the website, and what are their behaviorals. So and also by understanding and on all those areas, right, even the business can grow their revenue. Okay, so some of the areas we have touched are understanding how the revenue is predicted in movie industry, taxes, services, energy sector, goods. Okay, so we try to understand different research paper on this angle, and what are the prediction technique they have used, and how Google Analytics is helped in analyzing, tracking, reporting, and predicting the revenue. And Google Analytics is a tool from Google. In that service, right, we can understand the visitor in the website by tracking them, and also the reporting part. So in this area, right, Google Analytics is helpful. Okay, let's try to understand the missing value in the data. So if you see this chart, right, we can understand that nearly 8 features, 95% of data is missing. So we have dropped those features, and wherever there is a lower missing value, right, we have imputed the data. And when you see which are the columns which are more than 95% of data is missing, is related to AdWords, advertising. Some of the information is missing. Okay, let's try to understand to the period of time, right, how the data is fluctuating, right? Looking to the both visits and revenue, there is a volatility, but there is a pattern. Okay, and there's a huge spike in the December period of time. So we understood that there is some promotional campaign they have ran. That's the reason there's an increase in visits. Because of there is increase in visits, there is an increase in transactional also. Thereby, there is an increase in revenue. So same strategy we can use in the December period of time in the upcoming years. Okay. And also we can notice that in the April period of time, there is an increase in the revenue. Coming to channel analysis, right? So when we see the these two charts, right? Even though the visits in direct and social is not high, the revenue is similar to organic research. That is what we can understand looking into the data. So what it means here is, even though we don't invest more on direct and social campaigns, we will get a good amount of revenue from those places. Okay, let's go to the web browser analysis. So looking to this, right, we can understand majority of visits are coming from Chrome browser. However, even though the visits from um, Firefox, Safari, and Internet Explorer is low, the revenue is good. Right, that is what we can understand. So looking into this data, right, accordingly marketing team can spend less budget on these browsers like Safari, Firefox, Opera, and Edge, right, even though we spend less budget, we will get a significant good amount of revenue. That is what we can understand from this data. Okay, coming to OS, majority of the visits are coming from Windows and Mac. However, some of the interesting insight over his insight is there are 2,000 individuals visits are happening on the Windows phone. Okay, even though there is less visits, right? We have a good amount of revenue from that particular device. Okay. Okay, let's come to the device category analysis. We can see that majority of the visits are coming from desktop. But the interesting thing over here is, even though visit is low in tablet, there is a good amount of revenue coming from tablet. That is some of the interesting factor over here. Okay, when we see mobile versus non-mobile, majority of the visits are coming from non-mobile, but still mobile version has a good amount of revenue. Okay, let's understand the methodology we have used over here. So when we see this graph, right, the normal process has been taken care. Along with that over here, right, initially before predicting, right, we are classifying whether the visitor will come to website in the test period or not, right? By doing this, there will be a less computation power we'll be using, because only we'll be predicting to the visitor who has coming back to website. And once we have predicted that visitor will come back to the website, we are using light GBM, random forest, linear regression, and also a couple of deep learning models to predict the revenue. Okay. When we look into the model performance, right, light GBM has lower RMSE, thereby that is the best performing model. We also tried with random forest, linear regression, and a couple of deep learning, and also we tried with ensembling models. And also we try to understand what are the important features which are contributing the revenue. Looking into that, right, we got to know that transaction, session quality dimension, first session from the period start, country, operating system, page use, referral path, hits. These are the important features in the data. Okay, what is the conclusion from here, and what is the takeaways to the business? So after analyzing, right, we can suggest to Google Store to focus on the existing customers who visit their website between 100 to 500 times in each year. Because these customers generate the highest mean revenue per visit. That is one thing. And what are the tactics can be used to accomplish? Google revenue comes from, most of the Google revenue comes from Windows operating system. As a result, right, there should be a greater emphasis on the targeting Windows user by purchasing ad slots on Microsoft Store or a Firefox browsers on these Windows PCs. This is the tactic we can implement. Apart from that, right, we saw that in the month of April, right, there was the highest income. So indicating that Google can spend more advertising budget in that period of time when compared to other months. Okay. Apart from that, America accounts 98% of Google Store revenue. But the other interesting factor over here is in Africa, the has the largest revenue per user potential. So looking to that area, right, there is a growth potential of growth in Africa and ocean is more. That is what we can understand. Um, the Google Store has to concentrate on users on Africa. Thus, Google may leverage these model features to boost their income to get from the current customer rather than diverting the resource to bringing the new customer because the new customers will provide a little revenue when compared to the existing customer. That is what the conclusion we can say. So from the model point of view, Light GBM had a better performance. That is what we also understood. What is the research, future research we have in this, right? We can try out with the different CNN model topologies like max pool layer, LSTM models, right? Those are some of the things we can try. Why? Because LSTM will work well with the time series problem. So apart from that, right, PCA, we can test with PCA. One thing we have to show that we should not lose interpretability. That is something we should keep in mind. Apart from that, we also notice that data is a imbalanced data. Majority of people did not produce any revenue. Only 1% of people are produce the revenue. So we can try out upsampling method over here. These are some of the feature works available. Okay. That's all. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you all. Bye.